Hey Reddit, I'm not sure where else to put this, and I've been debating for hours if I should post it at all, but I need to get it out of my head before I lose it completely. This happened 3 nights ago, and I haven't slept since. I'll try to explain everything the best I can. For context, I'm a 28-year-old guy, freelance video editor, live alone in an old farmhouse I inherited from my grandfather in rural Missouri. I like my solitude, and most days I don't see another soul unless I drive into town for groceries or gas. On Tuesday night around 10:30 p.m., I was driving back from a gig in Jefferson City. I usually take the highway, but I wanted to get home quicker and avoid some nasty traffic I saw building up on Google Maps. So I detoured onto a back road I hadn't used in years. It's one of those winding dirt trails that barely shows up on GPS anymore, County Road 17 or something like that. The night was pitch black. No moon, no stars. Just the glow of my headlights bouncing off trees and the crunch of gravel under my tires. I had music playing low, some synth playlist, but after a while, I turned it off. It was just too quiet, too still, like the woods were listening. About 15 minutes in, I saw something on the side of the road. At first, I thought it was roadkill, maybe a deer, but as I slowed down, I realized it was standing, not lying down. It looked like a man just standing there, motionless, facing away from me. He wore this weird, tattered overcoat like something out of an old war film. His shoulders were hunched forward unnaturally, like his spine didn't fit right. I couldn't see his face, just the back of his head, completely bald and scabbed. I stopped the car, rolled the window down slightly, and called out, "Hey, you okay?" No response, not even a flinch. I should have kept driving. I know that now. But something about the way he was standing, so stiff, like a marionette waiting for someone to pull the strings, made me feel obligated, or maybe just plain afraid of what would happen if I didn't acknowledge him. I got out, just took a few steps toward him, flashlight from my glove box in hand. I called out again, "Do you need help?" That's when he moved, but he didn't turn around. He bent backwards, slowly. His legs stayed rooted, but his upper body just arched backward like he had no spine, until his face was upside down, staring straight at me. Red eyes, not glowing or anything fake like that, just wrong, bloodshot, bulging, and this wide, unnatural grin that didn't reach the rest of his face. He didn't speak, just made this clicking sound with his throat. It reminded me of the noise bugs make when they skitter around inside walls. I bolted back to the car, slammed the door. I barely had time to hit the gas before I saw him crawl off the road and into the trees, fast and spider like, but still smiling. I didn't look back again. I just drove until I hit the highway and didn't stop until I got home. That should have been the end of it. Some sick backwoods lunatic playing games, right? But when I got home, and this is the part I still can't explain, there was mud on my porch. Big, smeared prints that didn't match any boot I've ever seen. They looked like bare feet, but with too many toes. 6, maybe 7 per foot. The tracks led in a tight circle by the front door, like someone had been pacing there, waiting. I checked the locks. All good. I even nailed the windows shut, something my grandpa always said to do during tornado season. It made me feel a little better. I barely slept that night. Every time I shut my eyes, I saw that face. The next day, I tried to brush it off. Told myself it was just a bad scare, a trick of adrenaline. I worked, ate, even watched some stupid sitcoms to clear my head. But around 2 a.m., the scratching started. It was soft at first, like a tree branch against the siding. But there are no trees that close to the house. Then it got louder, this uneven tapping, like nails on glass. It moved too, from one side of the house to the other. I didn't go look, I couldn't. But I did turn on every single light I had, inside and out. The motion light in the backyard flicked on once for a second, then flicked off again. Nothing was there. Last night was worse. I woke up to my dog growling at the window. I don't own a dog, haven't for years. The growling was right outside my bedroom wall. Low, guttural, angry. I sat up, frozen, and that's when I heard it again. The clicking. This time it was followed by a whisper, a voice like dry leaves. Let me in. I still don't know how I didn't scream. I stayed in bed until dawn. When I finally got the courage to check outside, there was nothing. But all around my house, carved into the dirt with some kind of claw, was a single word, repeated over and over in a perfect circle. Remember, there's more. I haven't even told you about what I found in my basement this morning, or the figure I saw standing in the field behind my house just an hour ago. But I'm shaking too hard to type right now. My hands won't stop trembling. I need a break. Maybe some sleep, though I doubt I'll get any. If anyone's heard anything like this or knows what that thing could be, please let me know. I'll post part 2 as soon as I can. I swear I'm not making this up. I just want to know I'm not alone. OP. Edit. Thanks for the messages. I'm going to try to grab some food and check something in the barn. We'll update tonight if I make it back. Hey again, Reddit. Sorry for the delay. I didn't mean to leave anyone hanging. I really didn't. I told myself I'd update that same night after checking the barn, but I didn't get the chance because I never made it to the barn. I don't even know how to start this without sounding completely insane. I've rewritten this post 3 times. If you haven't read part 1, do that first, or none of this will make sense. Or maybe it still won't. Hell, it barely makes sense to me. Anyway, here's what happened. Right after I made that first post, I grabbed a flashlight, a hunting knife, and headed out the back door toward the barn. The old place is about 40 yards behind the house. Rusted tin roof, crooked doors, and all kinds of shadows. Grandpa used to keep tools in there, and I figured if something was hiding out on my property, maybe it left more tracks or signs there. The sun had already gone down, but it wasn't fully dark yet. Just that kind of eerie twilight where everything looks gray and wrong. No wind, no birds, just that awful stillness. As I got closer to the barn, I noticed something was off. The padlock I always keep looped through the doors, the one that's so rusted it barely moves, was lying on the ground, broken in half, like someone had snapped it. I stopped in my tracks, flashlight shaking in my hand. I should have gone back. I knew better, but something was pulling me forward, like a rope tied around my chest. The barn doors were open just a crack, wide enough to slip through if you turned sideways. So I did. Inside, it was musty and pitch black. The flashlight barely cut through the dark, but I could make out the old tractor rusting in the corner. Some shelves, empty feed bins, nothing unusual. At first. Then I saw the circle. Right in the middle of the dirt floor, someone had carved a perfect ring, not with a stick, but with deep, clean gouges like from claws. Around it were symbols I didn't recognize, crooked X's, spirals, something that looked like a twisted eye with extra lines coming off it like veins. And in the center of the circle was my grandfather's old radio, a dusty, battery-powered thing I haven't touched in years. It was on, but there wasn't music or voices, just static. Except every few seconds I swear I heard something behind the static, a whisper, a scraping, that clicking sound again. I reached out to turn it off, and then the flashlight died, just gone, no flicker. 1 second I could see, the next I was in total blackness. I fumbled for my phone, but the screen wouldn't turn on. Nothing worked, and then something breathed against the back of my neck. Long, slow, cold. I turned, swinging the knife blindly. Nothing, just air. But I could feel it there, watching, waiting. I backed toward the door, every instinct in me screaming to get out. And that's when I heard it again. That voice, dry, papery, like it hadn't used words in centuries. You brought it back. The barn shuddered. The wood groaned. I didn't wait. I ran. Didn't stop until I was back inside, lights blazing, every door locked. Here's where it gets worse. I called my friend Sam that night. She's an anthropology grad student who's into weird folklore, and I remembered her rambling about symbols and liminal architecture over drinks once. I figured if anyone could make sense of the circle in the barn, it was her. She came the next morning, kind of skeptical but curious. I showed her the photos I took. Yes, my phone started working again as soon as I left the barn, and her whole face went pale. She asked if I touched anything inside the circle. I told her no, except for the radio. That's when she said something that chilled me. You didn't just see something, you participated in it. That symbol is an old binding mark. If something was trapped there and you activated that object, you might have let it out. She wanted to see the barn for herself. I told her no, but she insisted. So we went. Together. Broad daylight. I felt safer with her, I guess, or just stupid. The weirdest part? The circle was gone. No gouges, no symbols, just smooth dirt, like it had never been touched. But the radio was still there, sitting neatly on a shelf. Sam wouldn't go in. She stood at the door and just stared for a long time before whispering, "Something's wrong here. Something's still here." We came back inside, and that's when she saw the marks on the attic door. I hadn't noticed them before. The ladder's hidden in a little side hallway I never use, and the attic has been sealed since Grandpa passed. But there they were, scratches, long and deep, like claws had raked across the wood. 7 marks, same number of toes I saw in those tracks. There was black residue around the edges, not mold, more like soot, and it smelled like rot. Sam wouldn't go near it. She made me promise to stay somewhere else for the night, and I agreed. But before we left, she took a rubbing of one of the claw marks using paper and charcoal. Said she wanted to compare it to some of the old folklore books she has access to. She left around 4 p.m. By 6, I started getting texts from her. Just one, actually. The same text, over and over again. Remember, 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 remember. Then nothing. I called, straight to voicemail. I haven't heard from her since. Last night, I heard footsteps above me, in the attic. They started around midnight and didn't stop until just before dawn. Slow, deliberate, pacing back and forth, and sometimes dragging. I slept in the truck, and this morning I found the attic ladder down, fully extended, like someone had pulled it open from the inside. There's something else too, something I'm not sure I should even say. When I woke up in the truck, my phone was sitting on the dashboard, even though I'd left it in the house. The screen was cracked, and on it was a photo I didn't take. It was a selfie of me, asleep. But behind me, in the back seat, something was crouched. Long limbs, white skin, head tilted, grinning. That's where I'm at now. I haven't gone inside yet. I don't want to be in that house. I don't even want to be near it. I don't know what I brought back from that road or what I let out in that barn or what's upstairs in that attic. I just know I'm not safe, and neither is anyone around me. I'm thinking of burning it all down. The barn, the house, everything. But I'm not sure fire is enough. If you've heard of anything like this, circles, voices, red eyes, the word remember, please, please comment or DM me. I don't know how long I can keep this up. I'm driving to the next town over. Might stay at a motel and try to contact Sam's friends. If I learn anything new or if anything else happens, I'll update here, assuming I'm still around to post it. Oh, edit. I just passed the County Road 17 sign again on my GPS. I swear I didn't take that turn. This is it, Reddit. The last post I'll make on this account. It's been 4 days since I posted part 2. I know some of you were wondering what happened. I saw the DMs, the comments. I'm sorry I didn't respond sooner, but I had to make sure this update wouldn't put anyone else in danger. Because the thing that crawled out of the woods, the thing I set loose, it's not just following me anymore. It's learning. It knows you're reading this. After the night I saw that photo of myself sleeping with that thing crouched in the back seat, I booked it straight to a motel in Fulton. Some roadside dump with flickering signs and peeling wallpaper, but it had a lock and 4 walls, and that was enough. Or so I thought. I barricaded the door, shoved a dresser in front of it, unplugged everything. I kept the lights on, TV off, just silence. I stayed up the whole night, knife in one hand, my dead phone in the other. I didn't sleep. I didn't even blink. At 3:17 a.m., the TV turned on by itself. No sound, just static. And then that symbol appeared in the snow. The same one from the barn, the spiral eye with veins. And underneath it, a message flickered across the screen. Remember what you were before. Then the screen went black. All the lights died. And from somewhere in the walls, I heard that clicking. Closer this time. Slower. Hungrier. I ran, left everything behind. Drove until my car started making this grinding noise that wouldn't stop, like something had gotten inside the engine. Had to ditch it outside a gas station off Route 54. That's when I made the decision. The only one that made sense anymore. I had to go back. Not to the house, not to the barn, but to County Road 17. I waited until sundown and borrowed an old dirt bike from a guy behind the station. Gave him my last $200. Told him I'd be back in an hour. We both knew I wouldn't. The road was even worse this time. Trees looked wrong, taller, thinner, closer together. Their branches hung like arms reaching down. The dirt beneath the tires wasn't just gravel anymore. It was soft, damp, like something had been bleeding underneath it for years. Around mile 5, I saw the spot, where I'd first stopped the car, where I saw him. Only now there was a hole there, a perfectly round pit in the earth about 5 feet across. The edges looked melted, scorched black, and around it, etched deep into the dirt, were those same symbols again. Fresh, precise. The radio sat in the center of the hole, still on, still whispering. I climbed in, I don't know why. Maybe I thought I could put it back. Maybe I thought I was the key. But the moment I stepped inside that ring, the earth shook. Not like an earthquake, more like something underneath was shifting, like a huge body stretching after a long sleep. And then I saw them, eyes, dozens of them, slowly opening all around the inside of the pit, hidden in the dirt. They weren't attached to anything, just floating, blinking, watching me, and in the center of all of them, a mouth. Not human, not animal, just wrong. A wet spiral of teeth that unfolded like a flower made of bone, and it spoke, but not in words. It showed me. Flashes, a town swallowed by mist, a church with no doors, where the congregation sits frozen in pews, grinning upward, a road that stretches forever in both directions, covered in footprints that never lead back. Then I saw my house, the attic door wide open, and inside, not my grandfather's boxes, not old insulation or raccoons or mold, but a well, a mirror of the pit I stood in. The attic was never part of the house, it was part of this, a crack in the skin of the world. And when I touched the radio that first night, I didn't free something. I invited it. I tried to climb out, but my feet wouldn't move. The dirt wasn't dirt anymore. It was flesh. It pulsed around my ankles, clenching tighter with every heartbeat. And from behind me, the whisper again, "You remembered. Now you belong." I screamed, bit down, kicked. And in one last moment of blind panic, I threw the radio out of the pit. The sound stopped instantly. The symbols flickered like flames being snuffed out, and the pit let me go. I crawled out, bleeding and sobbing, and the bike was gone. No tracks, no road behind me, just woods that weren't woods anymore. I ran. I don't know how long. Time didn't work right there. Maybe hours, maybe days. Eventually, I woke up in a ditch outside the gas station. The guy I rented the bike from said I was gone for 2 nights, thought I died. Said he heard something calling his name from the trees and hasn't slept since. That brings me to now. I'm staying in a motel 3 counties over. Sam still hasn't called. Her number just echoes once, then clicks. I've gotten 3 more selfies on my phone, all of me sleeping in places I've never been. The thing isn't in the house anymore. It's everywhere I go. But here's the worst part. And if you've read this far, I'm sorry. I really am. Because I think this story isn't just something I wrote down. I think it's a door. Every time I tell someone, I see it again. That symbol, that spiral eye, in reflections, in shadows. Once, even carved into my own arm while I slept. So now it's your turn. If you've read this all the way through, if you remember what I told you, you've seen it too. It knows you now. Check your window tonight. Look at your phone. You might find a picture of yourself sleeping, and just behind you, that smile. This is my last post. I'm going off grid, deleting everything. If I'm lucky, I'll forget. If not, I'll be waiting at the other end of the road. Edit. Don't reply. Don't message. Don't talk about it out loud. Just forget. Forget it all. That's the only way. Hey, Reddit. So I work freelance as a media archivist. It's not glamorous. Basically, I digitize old VHS tapes, microfilm, reel-to-reel audio, you name it. A lot of it comes from museums or universities, but every so often, I get odd requests, the kind that come with NDAs and no return addresses. 2 weeks ago, I got a contract offer from a private historical society. The job? Digitize Stosh 312 VHS tapes found in the security archive of a shuttered children's hospital about an hour outside Pittsburgh. The place is called Danvers Glen Pediatric Institution. Ever heard of it? I hadn't either. It was supposedly closed in 1997 after a funding collapse. But after what I've seen on these tapes, I'm not sure money was the real reason. This is the story of what I found. I've already broken the NDA. I don't care anymore because I think it knows I saw it. The tapes came in 9 black crates, each one labeled only by month and year. The earliest tape was from January 1995, the latest October 1997. All standard T160 cassettes labeled in fading marker, stuff like West Wing Cam 3 a.m. or Basement Access Motion Log. The client had one rule: do not skip tapes, do not alter timestamps, do not discuss content with anyone. I set up a clean editing station in my basement and started with the earliest box. At first, it was what you'd expect from a 90s hospital: fuzzy grayscale footage, nurses walking halls, janitors pushing carts, some children in wheelchairs. No audio, just static buzz. But even early on, something was off. The halls were too quiet. No parents, no visitors. And the kids, they didn't act like normal children. No playing, no talking. Most of them just stared at the walls, at the cameras, at nothing. I was about 6 tapes in when I found the first. It was a feed from Cam 5, East Hallway. A little girl in a hospital gown is standing still in front of a window. She doesn't move for 7 minutes. Then at 2:47:13, the footage jumps, not a skip, but a fold, like the tape rewinds itself a few seconds and replays, except the girl is gone. No cut, no fade, just gone. Then the camera starts slowly panning to the left, even though it's a fixed camera. It rotates all the way to a supply closet door, which opens by itself. Inside is total darkness. And then a hand, thin, elongated, almost paper-like, crawls out of the shadow, touches the frame of the door, then slides back in. The door shuts, and the camera resets back to its original angle. No explanation, no notes on the tape. I logged it as an anomaly and kept going. Then things got worse. Tape number 19, Playroom, 12 a.m. It's just a static shot of an empty playroom, toys neatly arranged, lights off. Nothing happens for 18 minutes. Then at 12:18:41, one of the rocking horses starts moving. It rocks faster, then stops. Then the audio cuts in, even though this tape has no sound channel. It's the faint sound of a child whispering, "Don't let it sit." I rewind. Listen again. Same voice, same sentence. Over the next 4 minutes, more toys start moving. A top spins. Blocks stack themselves. Then at 12:23:09, a figure walks through the background. Not a doctor, not a kid. It's tall, nearly brushing the ceiling, wearing a black smock or robe, no visible face. Just this white porcelain mask with 2 wide eyes and a slit mouth. It moves like stop motion, stuttering, jerky, but intentional. The whisper comes again. "Don't let it sit. Don't let it sit. Don't let it." The footage cuts. I should have stopped there, but I was too far in. Obsession does that. And then it followed me. I started hearing things upstairs while working at night. Soft tapping above the basement ceiling, whispering behind the static of the monitor speakers even when they were off. Then things in my house began rearranging. My coffee mug would switch places with my phone. A picture frame turned itself around. And always that subtle smell of antiseptic, like hospital floors. 3 nights ago, I woke up with a nosebleed. On my bedroom wall, drawn in what looked like blood, were the words, "It can sit now." I checked the footage again, went back through tape 24, and this time, the figure in the mask was looking at the camera. It raised one long finger to where its mouth would be, as if to say, "Shh, shh," and then the tape burned out. I don't mean corrupted. I mean the tape physically melted inside my deck. I still have the casing. It smells like ozone and metal. I stopped digitizing that night, locked everything in the basement. But last night I heard the rotary phone. I don't own one. I went downstairs. It was sitting on top of the last crate, ringing. There's more. One of the tapes wasn't labeled. It has no timestamp, no camera ID. It shows a room I don't recognize. But I swear it's my basement, like it was filmed yesterday. And in it, the masked figure is sitting at my desk, looking up at the camera. I'm posting this now before I lose the nerve. I have no idea who the client really was. I called the contact number. It just plays static. I don't know if I've been part of a trap or if the tapes were meant to find a new viewer. All I know is there's one crate left, and something wants me to finish it, but I don't think I should. I'll update soon. Maybe, if I'm able. I just wanted someone to know before I become part of the footage. OP. Edit. The last crate wasn't in the basement this morning. It's sitting on my bed. Still sealed. Timestamp on the label says live feed 7:05/2025, 3:34 a.m. That's tonight. I don't have any cameras in my house. I'm writing this in my car, parked 2 miles from my house. I've been sitting here for an hour, shaking, King, trying to decide if I should go back inside or just drive until I run out of gas. I watched the unlabeled tape last night, the one marked live feed 07:05/2025, 3:34 a.m. It changed everything. I had planned on burning it. I really did. But around midnight, I kept hearing that damn phone again, the rotary one, except it wasn't in the basement anymore. I followed the sound upstairs into my room. There it was, sitting on my pillow. The ringing stopped when I picked up the tape. That's when I noticed it was warm. I set it up in my deck with gloves. I was being careful, like maybe if I didn't touch it directly, whatever was inside wouldn't see me. I hit play. Static. Then, slowly, the image formed. My basement. Same lighting, same layout. The monitor on the desk showed me, sitting exactly where I was in that moment, except the timestamp wasn't from a previous day. It read, live feed during the current time. At first, I thought I was accidentally watching a real-time feed of myself. But then I noticed something was wrong with the image. The walls behind me were covered in children's drawings. Crayon pictures of stick figures with long arms and no faces, the kind of stuff you'd see on a case file. And in the corner, something was moving, barely visible at first. A shadow, then a limb, long, insect thin, pulling itself from the ceiling like it was dripping out of the drywall. I watched as the me on screen turned his head, but I hadn't moved. It wasn't live. It was a recording of a moment that hadn't happened yet, and it was counting down to it. At 3:33 a.m., I shut the tape off and unplugged everything. Didn't matter. The screen stayed on. No power, no input, just that one static-filled image. My basement and me. Except now, the figure was closer. It had a body now, like a human stretched too thin. Its limbs ended in finger-like points, and the porcelain mask, it was cracking. Line spiderwebbing from the eye holes like something inside was pressing too hard from underneath. I ran, grabbed my keys, and bolted. As I left the house, I swear I saw someone standing in my upstairs window. Not the tall thing. A child. Just watching. Head tilted. Holding something in one hand. I didn't realize what until I got in the car and saw the object sitting on the passenger seat. It was my copy of the very first tape I digitized. West Wing Cam 3, 3 a.m. But the label had changed. It now said, "Welcome home." That was last night. I drove until dawn and parked in a rest stop on I-70. Slept an hour with one eye open. When I checked my phone, I had 6 new videos in my photo gallery. I don't remember recording any of them. Each one is footage from the hospital, except it's not footage I digitized. It's footage from inside rooms I recognize. My kitchen, my bedroom, the car I'm in right now. And in every clip, the camera pans fast like someone running with it before cutting off just as that same masked figure enters the frame. Always closer, always reaching. I called the number on the original client invoice again. This time, someone answered, but they didn't speak. I heard that clicking sound, like a tape loading. Then a child's voice crackling through static. "You watched. That means we can too. Finish the set, or it won't end." Then silence. I'm going back. I don't know what else to do. There's a small number printed on the spine of each tape, a sequence I thought was just for organization. But looking again, I realized something. The last tape is marked 313 viewing room. I only received 312, unless I'm the last one, unless watching is the final tape. I'll write a final update when I get back. If there's anything left of me to write it, if I don't return, don't look through your old tapes. Don't digitize anything that comes without a return address. And whatever you do, don't finish the set. Edit. I just got a push notification from my Nest Cam. It says motion detected basement. I didn't install a Nest Cam. There's a new video in the app. The thumbnail is me sitting at my desk from behind. Timestamp 0:34 a.m. tonight. This will be my last post, and maybe the last time anyone hears from me, because I've seen the final tape, and it saw me back. After I posted part 2, I sat in the car for a long time, just watching the Nest Cam notification on my phone, daring myself to tap it. Eventually I did. The video was 47 seconds long. The angle was low, from behind my basement monitor. The screen in the video was black, but my own reflection was visible in it, sitting still, breathing shallow, staring forward. Except I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking at something beside it. A shape, shifting, tall, masked. Then right at the end, the video glitched. A loud tearing noise, like tape being ripped apart, and the image inverted for a single frame. And in that split-second flash, I could see my own face on the screen, mouth open, screaming, while something behind me reached a hand over my shoulder. The camera cut out. No more motion alerts since then. Just one last message. Viewing room ready. I went home. I don't remember getting out of the car. Don't remember unlocking the door. One moment I was outside, and the next, I was standing in the middle of my basement in the dark. The monitor was on. A new tape was already loaded into the deck. It wasn't mine. The label was neatly printed. 3113 Viewing Room, property of Danvers Glen Pediatric Archives. Final submission. I should have run. I should have smashed it. But something had already shifted. The air in the room had weight like thick cloth. I could hear my blood in my ears. And the second I touched the play button, the lights flickered off and the monitor turned white. No static, no glitch, just white. Then, slowly, faces began to emerge. Children's faces, pale, slightly blurred like a half-erased drawing. Their eyes were all black, not sockets, just voids, and their mouths were open in matching soundless screams. Then, one by one, their heads tilted, in sync, toward me. And that's when the chair appeared. On the screen, a simple wooden chair materialized in the center of a featureless white room. The walls were padded, too soft to cast shadows. No doors, no ceiling, just endless white. Then a door slid open. Not a real door. A rectangle of darkness like film being burned out. From the void, it stepped in. The masked figure. But now its porcelain mask was broken completely down the middle, revealing not a face, but a reel of tape stretched tight across its skull. Winding, twitching. It clicked with every movement, like film through a projector. It moved to the chair and turned to the camera. Then, slowly, it pointed. At me. A whisper came through the speakers. Not a child's voice this time, but something ancient, dry and dusty and hollow. This is your turn. You finished the set. The screen went black, and suddenly the basement wasn't the basement anymore. I was in the viewing room. Same chair, same padded walls. The air buzzed like being inside a live wire. There were tapes lining the floor, scattered like bones, all unlabeled, all blank. And across from me, sitting in a second chair, was me. Except it wasn't me. Not anymore. His eyes were missing, just torn holes. His mouth hung open, and from inside I could see black film fluttering like ribbon. His fingers were twitching like they were stuck on rewind. He raised one hand slowly and pointed over my shoulder. I turned, and it was there, standing, waiting. The figure, the mask gone, the film spilling out of its skull, wrapping around the room, wrapping around me. The whisper again, "You are the final tape." I woke up in my chair, in the real basement. Or it looked real, but the tapes are gone. My walls are marked with crayon symbols. My phone camera is cracked, but if I hold it up, the screen shows that same padded white room with an empty chair. Until I blink, then it's occupied by you. There's no more tape to digitize, no more footage to archive, only new viewers to record. I haven't slept in 2 days. Every time I close my eyes, I hear the reel spooling again. I smell antiseptic and hear the whispers of 100 children trapped in flickering loops. So here's what you need to know. If you've read this far, if you've pictured the room, if you imagined the mask, if you've tried to see it in your mind, you're already inside. It found you, and now it's watching to see what you record. This account will be deleted in 1 hour. I don't know if it will help, but if it delays it even a second, if it breaks the chain, it's worth it. Do not search for the tapes. Do not look into Danvers Glen. And whatever you do, don't finish the set. OPE, final edit automated. Live viewing resumed, 3:34 a.m. Welcome to the archive.